there are a couple of conflicting bills, and they're interesting bills, and there may be more wonky bills than some people think matter, but there's one bill, 1286, on the House side, that came from the Secretary of State here very late in January, and basically it's meant to make it easier for new parties and smaller parties to form and to nominate candidates. It's a response to a lawsuit that's going on right now from the Libertarians and Constitution Party that's being heard. It was heard this week. The intent of the bill, well, number one really is to get us out of Dutch so we don't lose this lawsuit, because it looks like we're going to lose it based on all constitutional analysis and statements from the previous judge. But the thrust of the bill is to allow new parties to form even after the primary in an election year, and to say, wow, the two big parties have let us down, we need to form and put in some new people because these guys are all bozos. I kind of like that, and I'm a Democrat. I don't want to be challenged, but I'm okay with that. If we Dems can't offer an opportunity, and if Heidi and her friends want to put together a new party in June, let her rip. Let them nominate their candidates, legislature, governor, and that at convention, go for it. That's the thrust of that bill. But there's a competing bill, and this one is House Bill 1259, and that goes in the other direction and tells the parties, you can't nominate anybody but lieutenant governor at your convention, and so all your attorney general and secretary of state and all those offices, all of them have to file their papers by the end of March and run in the primary. So, I mean, two competing bills. I'm genuinely curious what all four legislators think about making it easier for small parties and new parties to form, to petition, to nominate candidates at convention instead of going through a costly primary. Which side do you go for? Help those small parties form, or make it harder by defanging their conventions?
Thanks again, Corey. 1286, the bill allowing new parties to form. I support that. I absolutely support that. I support a competition of ideas. I support more candidates on the ballot. I support different parties having different candidates up so the voters can make a decision. So yeah, I'm definitely a proponent of 1286. I like it when there's other candidates on the ballot. In reference to 1259, I think I'm opposed to that one. I think if the parties want to get together and have their convention and nominate candidates, that helps candidates get on the ballot. So all in all, I'm for candidates being on the ballot. I'm for having a competitive elections process. So yes on 1286, no on 1259 for me.
Well, Corey, 1286 is, to me, it's kind of a funny bill because how many parties are we going to form then and put on the ballot? Oh, I'm going to make my own party, so I'm a party of one, and I'm going to put myself on the ballot. That's where I can see that going. So I really don't agree with that. The other one I haven't studied that much, but the first one, 1286, I just don't see where it's an effective type bill.
I'm somewhat familiar with 1286. I thought I was more familiar with it until you brought up the creation of parties after the primary. I'm not familiar with that element of the bill. I generally support the other elements contained therein. One of the issues is that a party that right now gets under a certain percentage of the vote can slip into alternative political party status, and this would make it easier for them to remain of a political party status and not slip into what I would consider that probationary period in which if they don't have a better showing over time, they can be removed from the political party rolls, and then they have to go through the process of getting the paperwork filed and whatnot, and again, having a good showing on the ballot. So to that, to the extent that it helps relative to that issue, I do support the bill. And again, I'll take a look at the rest of it because you bring up an element that I wasn't aware of. On 1259, I think that I would tend to oppose that bill. The convention system has been in place for a number of years, and the parties are able to bring their constitution candidates forward from that convention, and I certainly don't see that system is broken. So I think once again, Corey, we find ground that we tend to agree on. So, yeah, there's a little tremor, I think, below our feet. The earth is quaking. But I do thank you for the question. Oh, and I would also mention, I am going to have to leave because I had a meeting that started in Mitchell at 10 o'clock, so I'll be leaving before we have the opportunity to talk with people afterwards. Thank you to the Leadership Aberdeen people for being here, and everybody else. If I don't have the opportunity to answer any other questions, know that I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to shun you. I will make myself available every opportunity that I have. Just today it doesn't work. Thanks.
Well, right now, to the best of my knowledge, we've got Republicans, Democrats, Constitutionalists, and Libertarians. I don't think there's a fifth party, but I'm in favor of parties. If the two major parties don't meet the needs of the people, they're sure welcome to form additional parties, and that's why we've got Libertarians and Constitutionalists. And I believe in history there's been times when one of the two major parties have failed to stay a major party, and other parties have come forward, and so that's fine. What does worry me is I believe somebody said the example of a party of one, and everybody would love to run for governor, and if you go on and get 3 signatures and you get to run for governor, and now all of a sudden we've got 800 people running for governor, and you've got to look through those 800 people to find your candidate. Obviously, we haven't got to that point. So 2 positions. One is I'm in favor of doing what we can for the smaller parties. That's fine. But we sure don't want to clutter up the ballot to the point of being ridiculous. So if that was to happen, obviously we'd have to go back and the pendulum swings back and forth, and then at that point the pendulum would swing back and we'd say, no, you got to jump over some hurdles to get on the ballot. So thank you. Thank you for coming.